Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out the Marshall DRP-1 direct recording preamp. Now there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of information available about this online, but from what I can tell they were released around the mid-90s and they're designed to sound something like a JCM800. So the controls on the preamp itself are fairly straightforward. You've got your preamp volume, which is your gain control, and then a master volume. You've got bass, middle and treble controls and a line level, as well as a dip switch which switches between the two channels. So the normal channel, from what I've been able to tell, is more of a plexi-ish sound, or that seems to be the general consensus anyway, and then the boost channel is your JCM800 higher gain sound. So on the back of the device you have a headphone out, a headphone in, and then a line out which features a cab sim of a 4x12 Marshall cabinet, as well as a preamp out which doesn't feature any sort of cab simulation. You've then got your input and a 9V DC barrel plug, but this will also run off of a 9V battery. Today I'm playing my 2024 Gibson SG Standard. I should say also that for all of these clips that I'm running the EQ completely flat with all of the knobs at 12 o'clock. So we'll start off on the normal channel and I'll play you some clean tones and then progressively turn the gain up. I'm currently running this from the line out with the cab simulation and running that straight into the front of my Focusrite. So starting with the clean tone on the normal channel, that sounds something like this. So that's with the gain about 12 o'clock, and now turning this gain up to about 3 o'clock, sounds like this. And then turning the gain all the way up to the max, we start to get into those sort of broken up, sort of plexi tones. So that's the normal channel. I'm now going to turn the gain back to about 12 o'clock and switch over to the boost channel. And now turning the gain up to about 3 o'clock. And then maxing the gain out completely. So that gives you a bit of a flavour of some of the tones you can get from running out of the line out with the built-in cab simulation. Now I think it sounds really good. Why these things didn't catch on I'm not entirely sure, but I guess appearing in the mid-90s it was still a time when everyone wanted a 100-watt head and a big rectifier, and these sort of pedal-sized amps weren't really a thing yet, so Marshall were quite ahead of their time with that one. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, you have got the line out, but you've also got the preamp out, which gets rid of that cab emulation and then allows you to run that into any sort of power amp. So that's what we'll check out next. So what you're going to hear now is the Marshall preamp running into the return on the effects loop of my Orange Dark Terror. So what this does is it bypasses the preamp and means I'm just using the power section of the amp. And in a way, loosely, I know you'll probably say otherwise in the comments, but what it kind of does is gives me a 15-watt JCM800. Okay, so I'm now plugged in with the DRP-1 connected to the power amp of my Dark Terror, which is a 15-watt power section with EL84 tubes. I'm then running that through the 2 notes torpedo cap to 16 and into my interface, and I'm using GGD's Zilla cabs IRs, replicating a greenback mic'd up with an SM57. So we'll start with some clean tones again, and it sounds a bit like this. If we turn the gain up to about 3 o'clock. And then the gain all the way to the maximum. And then I'll back the gain back up to about 12 o'clock and switch over to the boost channel. And then turning the gain up to about 3 o'clock. And then completely maxing the gain out. So there we go. That's a brief demo of the DRP-1. Now I think that sounds really fantastic. Whether it sounds exactly like a JCM, I'm not an expert on Marshalls by any means, so I wouldn't know. But I think, putting authenticity aside for a second, it's a great sound. And it definitely gets you into that sort of Marshall-y, crunchy ballpark. As I probably will have put in the title, you can pick one of these up for next to nothing. So I've seen them going on eBay and Reverb for less than £100, and this one that I'm playing to you today, I picked up for 40 quid from a cash converters near me. So they're certainly affordable, and I think especially if you have something like the Orange or whatever amp you have, especially if it's got a more British sounding power section, it's a great way to get Marshall tones on quite a budget. So let me know what you think. Would you consider picking one of these up, and what did you think of the tones? Drop me a comment down below and let me know. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.